Jarvis, drop my needle.
Sugar took my breath away.
You walk in here like you own the place. Like a smile on the billboard interstate. You take control of the room, heads turning around. I'm slipping in everything, you're smoothing down. You don't do what the good girls do. That's what keeps me wanting you. Something into something, make me feel like summer's coming. Summer willing for me running. I felt my heart stop beating. You took away my breathing. Suddenly looking in your eyes. It was love on arrival. Got me down and sweet, yeah. From the moment that we met. Your eyes wanna live without. It was love on arrival. L-O-A. Love on arrival. I'm here to stay. Love on arrival. Sugar took my breath away.
And this is Dr. Gonzo coming to you live. Little allergies going on here, but hey, we're going to have a great review of a great movie, Flaming Hot. Now, I was talking with my friend Paulie of Latino Slant.
First of all, I love Paulie.
A couple days ago when we were doing our first broadcast together, and we're talking about different movies, and he told me about the 100,000 Mile one, and he's reviewed that. He did that with Alan Ing. Check that out on Paulie's channel, Latino Slant. And then he mentioned the Flaming Hot one. Well, let me show you a picture. I remember seeing the picture of Flaming Hot, and let me bring that up on the screen there. And it just kind of turned me off. It was like I'm a Christian. This isn't a Christian channel. But I was like, are they going to mock God in this or not? You know? And then I watched the movie, and the movie's actually on both Hulu and Disney Plus. And I'm on my last 2 months of Disney Plus. So I put the movie on, and I was really, really pleasantly surprised. It's basically the story of a laborer, son of Mexican farm laborers, and Richard Montañez. And if I pronounce that poorly, I'm sorry. My Spanish is not very good, but it's a pretty cut and dry, rags to riches story, but it just wasn't your run-of-the-mill story. Jesse Garcia, who I was unfamiliar with, and now I'm Googling him to see what other shows he was in. He really carried this movie. Both him and the lady that played Judy, Annie Gonzalez, who was also very good. And it's about the invention of Flaming Hot Cheetos. Okay, so when I watch a movie, I choose a movie because of relatability. So I started to watch the movie, and I thought what could I relate to in this movie? Well, part of Richard's story is he's embarrassed to bring burritos to school because that's all he has. So right now I want to issue a burrito warning. Okay, so this is going to be a burrito alert. It's an alert. So if the word burrito, or if a burrito triggers you, like maybe tacos do or stuff like that, you have been warned. And yes, there will be some spoilers coming up as well. So I'll turn the burrito alert off because you have been warned. And so he's embarrassed about he comes to school, and so instead of like a bologna sandwich, he's getting a burrito, which I grew up in Phoenix. And the relatability here, the reason it really touched home with me is because I was the oldest of 7 kids. We all went to parochial school, so there wasn't a whole lot of money left. So we used to have to bring mustard and sugar sandwiches to school. Seriously, mustard and sugar sandwiches. So we got, well, my last name is Worth, so all kind of bullying went on in my life, but and we got made fun of because we had mustard and sugar sandwiches, but it filled our bellies and it was good. So anyway, Richard goes on as a kid. These bullies are picking on him and calling him all kind of names. So Richard turns it around on him, and he dares these bullies to take a bite of his burrito, and they do, and they like it. So he starts selling them for $0.25, and he makes a ton of quarters, a bunch of money by turning something where the bullies were on him and making it into something positive. And the movie goes on to show that he marries this Judy, and they have children together, and he doesn't want to be a gangbanger anymore, but he doesn't have a diploma, so he's not really qualified. Long story short, he becomes a janitor at the Frito-Lay company, and he's got to kind of bend his story a little bit to get in there. Also, Tony Shalhoub was in this, and I love Tony Shalhoub as Monk, and he was also in the comedy show on Amazon. Tony Shalhoub plays Roger Enriquez, who was the CEO of Frito-Lay. So they're in one scene, they're moving a TV. And if you've ever worked for a factory, when there's a speech from the CEO, they'll move a TV in there and you have to watch it. Well, everybody bolts out. They're not interested in looking. But Richard is inspired by this. He is so inspired by this that he actually calls the CEO later on, and he wants to meet with him about these spices that it's a homemade recipe. And here, let me play a little short scene before.
Burns good or burns bad?
It burns good.
Oh, we did! Yeah.
Of course we did.
So that was really interesting because in just a little scene before, they were testing out different spices, and they all went running to the sink, and they finally got the seasoning right. The movie goes on about Richard's journey and how the guy struggles through that. One other appeal to the movie is it's just not your run-of-the-mill rags to riches story. I didn't take it that way. Here's another scene. I love the scenes like this. They also use this Luis, remember him from Michael Pena in Ant-Man. He used bits kind of like this, and I think this is clever, and it's kind of funny.
The snack wars were getting serious. Competition was thick and market share was shrinking. You see, Roger Enrico had become the CEO of PepsiCo, and he didn't mess around. So his first order of business, cut the fat, cut shifts, shut down factories, and find the money to keep the ship moving. The corporate suite at Frito-Lay felt like gangsters throwing down in a drug den. Because let's be real, that's pretty much what C-suiters are, gangsters with money.
Enrico was pissed. He was like, "You pendejos are out here telling me these little punks like Nabisco and Eagle Snacks are getting more feria than us? biting up our territory and you the stupidos okay with that? And this Cavacho was all, nah, big homie, we still got the good stuff. Cheetos, fritos, Doritos. People still dishing out lana for the classics, bro. Then the big homie laid it down, and he was like, "Sabes qué? For how long? Cause we ain't got time, little puppet."
What? You need a Cholo translator? All right, I got you.
So, sales are down?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah,
that's what it
right now
looks like.
Tony Shalhoub in this was great. It was very inspiring. And like I said before, Jesse Garcia owns this movie. I mean, he just really does a lot of humor in it. Now there is some strong language in it, of course, in both Spanish and in English, and they use some words that I would not use as well, that we were not allowed to use in our household. Two of those words were what I'll say is WB or the N word. And my mom was like a ninja. One time I said the word fart when I was at the front door, and she popped behind me and shoved some dry Tide in my mouth. So we were not allowed to cuss in our household. So just a little warning in there. In the language, it's not really bad. Here's the thing that really surprised me, though. So it was directed by Eva Longoria. Now, she's from Desperate Housewives. And I'll tell you what, she did a great job directing. The story, the screenplay, the direction, the way the film moved was all really good. So that surprised me. So I wasn't familiar with her outside of Desperate Housewives. So, she did a good job on the show, I got to tell you. And I know a lot of detractors will say, well, what about, I remember when they were promoting it on Disney She-Hulk on how to eat Flaming Hot Cheetos with chopsticks. And you know what? She-Hulk was an awful show. It sucked. It was bad. And I love the character of She-Hulk. Not to get off track, but you got to take the movie as it is. So back to the movie itself. What really surprised me was it's a faith-based movie. So I let me show the poster again. So this is what turned me off. But I tell you what, it's a faith-based movie. And they don't ram God down your throat. But the thing I really liked about it was that the wife had been praying for Richard the whole time for his success. And the dude busted his back, man. I mean, he worked hard. And his hard work paid off. And their prayer was just kind of like, God, I'll do the work. Please just bless it. God, Senor. They were praying in a post office. And even the clerk said amen. So it's a better faith-based movie, in my opinion, than a lot of these faith-based movies. You see the Hallmark ones where you got the little girl who heals a bird and has magical powers and all that kind of stuff. I just don't buy into that. But I tell you what, folks, on Disney or on Hulu, Flaming Hot is a flaming hot success. And so is Jesse Garcia and Annie Gonzalez, Tony Shalhoub, the whole cast, Eva Longoria, great job directing. And there is a lot of good stuff in this movie. So I would encourage you to give it a shot. Just so you know, here is the proper way to eat Flaming Hot Cheetos.
Sexy hot fire, take one.
And this is Dr. Gonzo saying, hey, subscribe to my channel. I'm a little alert. I have two channels. One's a radio station channel and one's my new Dr. Gonzo channel. I'm combining both channels. So please subscribe, like and subscribe at Tim in the Morning. It's always morning somewhere. There'll be a link to this film, this video in there. And I would encourage you to watch Flaming Hot because it's a flaming hot movie. It's really good. And don't forget, I guess Blue Beetle, I keep plugging the movie because I love it. Blue Beetle has been delayed. If it got delayed, that means it's having success overseas. So, hey, the more success it has, the greater it is. So, hey, I will talk to you later and have a great day.
Hi, my favourite DJ Dr. Gonzo is on the air right now. Dr. Gonzo is live Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The doctor knows what you need. The true classic hits of the 60s, 70s and 80s. So tune in to GonzoRadioPequa.com 24/7. Buy the ticket and take the ride because that's just what the doctor ordered. Tune in worldwide on the internet of Spotify.